Hi you guys, welcome to the weekly energy update, or the weekly bump as I like to call it. Kind of getting your little tarot fix in for the week, gauging what's going on for you, what the energies really look like. We're going to do a pick a card this week, and there's some interesting things going on in the sky, right? We have Mercury, who has just entered into Pisces. He's going to be going retrograde on the 16th of this month. We have Venus making her way into Aries, which is going to happen in the next couple of days. And that's going to connect with Chiron. So there's going to be some interesting things happening, kind of coming out. You may even be having some interesting dreams right now. I think we're all going to be entering into that dreamscape with the Mercury retrograde beginning in Pisces. So be aware of what your subconscious is doing. And that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and dive right into these cards. Thanks. All right, you guys. So here we have the 4 piles for the week. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The timestamps for each pile will be found in the description box. We have Pyrite, Fluorite, Celestite, and a Mookaite Jasper, which is a beautiful red grounding stone. And go ahead, take a moment, pause the video, feel which one you're feeling called to. If you feel called to more than one, you're more than welcome to watch as many as you feel compelled to. If you have a specific question, you are also welcome to ask as well. Hopefully you could get some answers or at least some insights, if nothing else. All right, see you guys in a second. Alrighty, pile number 1. You guys picked the Pyrite, which is kind of like a gold kind of stone, which I actually really, I love this one so much. It connects very well with the 3rd chakra. So those of you who are looking for confidence, self-empowerment, kind of having the guts to go through with something, Pyrite is the stone for you. There's also a component of wealth and abundance that comes out with that. So that's really great. Okay. It's going to be an interesting week. There may be something substantial that changes, all right, as we often see with the Tower, but ultimately I think you guys are really going to have your head down. It's almost kind of like, keep my head down, stay out of the drama, stay out of everybody's business, keep my mouth closed, let me just do what I know how to do, let me do the research, let me do the, the mundane answering of emails, keeping up, doing things, checking things off the checklist here. And I think you're feeling really good. I think ultimately there is progress and there is motion. I'm getting kind of the word that's coming to my mind is like a locomotive. So very much like a train kind of chugging forward, kind of, having that sense of no matter whether it's an uphill or a downhill, we're going to keep it the same speed no matter what. Let's just keep it very consistent. The world is this Saturnian ruled energy, and it can be slow. So you may feel this week like things are just kind of like you can sense that things are evolving, right? We have a very slow energy and we have a very fast energy. And I think that these coins in between are really mellowing everything out. Your grace this week is found in the tasks, the very Virgo types of things, all right? This is a card of Virgo, so that's why I'm saying all of it. If you have a Virgo in your life, they actually may help you with keeping you on track simply by just talking to you throughout your day. Or if you have an earthy type of person, they don't necessarily have to be a Virgo, but a more earthy type of personality. They have this way about them that kind of helps to keep, it's like because they are motivated, you are also motivated. So if this is your significant other, like your very special person that you love, they will be doing you a lot of favors. If this is a person that maybe you have a connection with that you're not really in contact with them or whatever, there may be an aspect to them like, okay, well, if I'm not going to talk to them, then I'm just going to keep myself busy. If I'm not going to be able to like engage in this whole thing, then I'm just going to do my work. So they're kind of like a muse. All right, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's really great. And near the end of the week, there may be some pretty major shifts. And it doesn't necessarily mean like your world is going to be crumbling down, but I think the progress that's made is actually going to kind of put you in a new direction. And there's going to be new information that comes out this week, which will actually be beneficial for you moving forward. Okay, so The moon energy is a first quarter moon, which is an energy of assessing, which is kind of interesting with the coins, which is all, taking a look, taking stock, taking inventory of what's going on in your life and how things are really working and what's not working. And I sense a lot of objectivity, which is great. It's not a hyper emotional kind of time. With Venus making her way into Chiron, it could be an emotional time. So the fact that it's not is boding well, and it's going to be doing you a lot of favors. The more detached and the more grounded you can be, the better. All right? Imarama, where are you being called to journey to? Leap, you go first. The universe will catch you. Maybe that's interesting that this card is coming out in connection with the Tower. It might be that there are certain, restraints, but the Tower near the end of the week really might push you into that, okay, let's go do it. Let's take this leap. Let's make that phone call. Let's put ourselves out there. Let's let people know that we're looking for this, and that might feel like such a huge deal, but you're more safe than ever. And I think you have been, having these stirrings within you. Like, where are you being called to go? And these stirrings are usually, they start off as little gnawings, and then they ultimately become big bites, like, okay, officially, And maybe that's also a connection with the Tower, is it's not so much as anything going on externally, but rather kind of an it's like that internal light bulb turning on. Like, okay, boom, I know, I'm illuminated, I understand now, I see it more clearly now. I've just been bitten by my intuition. Now it's an undeniable fact that this is really where I need to go. Be careful not to misinterpret strong desire as your soul's calling, because sometimes those two things can be very different, and the desire really comes from an ego. Like, for example, let's use a romantic scenario. If you are in love with someone who doesn't necessarily love you back, or you feel very connected to them, but for some reason they aren't really reciprocating or responding, don't misinterpret these yearnings as being like, oh my gosh, I have to show up randomly at their house and declare my love to them. That's probably not a good thing, right? That's probably kind of an act of desire that's a little bit too connected with the ego. Really more the kinds of yearnings I'm talking about probably will set you more toward freedom. All right, more toward your own liberation from intense or overwhelming desire, which the coins, again, it gives you that grounding to really discern and the assessing nature. It's like if you are feeling super strong about something, it's probably not a good week to really act on it unless you know for sure that this is really your soul speaking to you. Does that make any sense? I know there's a little bit of a contradiction in there, and I apologize for that. Hopefully it came out clear though. But you go first, right? Take the leap. And sometimes that leap isn't really what you think it's supposed to be. Sometimes the leap is the letting go, okay? It's the letting go for many of you. Oh my gosh, stop it. And then we get the card of the observer. So we have the assessing energy and the observer energy. Really stand outside of yourself. It's going to be so, so, so beneficial, and you'll be so grateful that you did. If you're having a hard time disassociating yourself, talk to a friend. Talk to someone who is an observer of your life. Can we just not we have to point out the fact that there's a telescope looking at the moon and there's a telescope looking at the moon. And it's almost as though you have to, separate yourself via the telescope and look at yourself from a far perspective, from a really far perspective. And so maybe talking to a third party would be beneficial because they'll be more neutral, just so long as it's a third party that is not so connected to the outcome. Someone who can tell you the truth because they're not really invested in the situation. They need to be neutral. Neutrality is the name of the game here. Memories of love. Now, interesting that we have these memories of love with the Tower. and then this leap. Okay, so there's a lot of activity here. I think this is a release. It's a continued release given the Saturn-Pluto thing that happened last month. It's kind of the fallout of things, and it's kind of what needs to happen in order for the 2020 foundational quality to really start kicking in. If you want a new kind of life or a new kind of path for yourself, you have to release the ideas of what you think it's supposed to be. Where are you being called to? Probably it's not to that place that you have been so desperately trying to get to, and it just simply has not worked out for you, right? So let go, let go, let go. Surrender, surrender, surrender. This Tower transition will be so blissful if you just let go. And then the final card, and this was a ritual card, a waxing crescent, which is similar to a kind of a first quarter moon as well. Not quite. They're actually like both building energies, right? Waxing is always, you know, coming more full. Declaration, options, and assessment. Again, that word assessment, observer, and assessing. It's not an accident that this is coming out. Just take stock. Neutral, neutral, neutral. That is the name of the game. You're in a building phase right now, so in order to properly build, you have to clear out the foundation, which is really what this Tower is good for. You have to clear out the old structures in order for the new structure to be built. Letting go of the memories, letting go of the soft spots, letting go of, you know, the hanging on. That's going to be really a theme for you probably. And again, Venus conjunct Chiron, it makes a lot of sense. Chiron always exposes us. It always kind of pulls us open. We can't really avoid it. It's just something that happens periodically. In the beginning of Aries season, the sun will come back with Chiron as well. So there may be whatever wounds are exposed at this particular point in time. There may be a mending at the beginning of Aries season. So there might be kind of a period of vulnerability, as there often is to the Tower. But again, that faith that the universe will catch you. It will, because it always does, because it has to, because the universe is looking out for itself. All right? Excellent reading. You have to have the courage, right? Third chakra. The courage, the confidence, the empowerment, right? Believe in yourself. All right, you guys, have an excellent week, and I will see you soon. Take care. Okay, pile number 2. You guys picked the Fluorite, which is green. And it's, you know, the, oh my gosh, I forget the name of this shape. It's a sacred geometrical shape with the pyramid. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm totally blanking on the name. Anyway, it's a sacred geometry, really amazing, beautiful green color, connected with the heart chakra, opening up our heart space for the sake of receiving and also unburdening ourselves. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say. Yeah, courage is like a thing this week, I think. And see, the Fool is such a great vibe because he is always successful in his naivete. He's always successful in his innocence. It's kind of like innocently wandering around a corner that maybe you shouldn't be, and yet finding a big pile of gold, right? Like it's weirdly lucky. And I feel like the Fool is your good luck charm this week. And there's courage. And I love the yellow colors coming out here because there is that aspect of having the guts to do something, having the push behind you to just kind of go for it without a lot of analysis. Because I think there's been too much, right? 5 of Cups. There's just a little too much analysis in your past. And I think you're ready to start moving places more quickly, 8 of Wands, and you're ready to really start receiving. Because wherever there was loss in the past, it's now time for those cups to get filled up with something new, right? Because there is still, even though 3 of these are spilled, there are still 5 cups. So it's a matter of bending over, turning them back upward and start allowing them to be refilled. So whether that's being refilled with a new romantic interest, being refilled with, you know, fulfilling work, whatever it is, I think it's time. It's time for this melancholy to be a little like in the past. Like, let's get the melancholy behind us. And the Fool, I think, is really just like, okay, yeah, let's go for it. Let's do it. Let's pick these cups up. Let's get back up on this horse. Let's get a leg up. Let's get some help, and let's do it. And help doesn't necessarily have to be from a person. It can be from the universal life force. Okay, so it's not that you have to go involve everyone in your stuff, but you have to dive in. There seemed to be absolutely no fear about the Five of Cups. There's no fear about the loss. And there's no fear about really tackling the stuff. This is super common with a Mercury retrograde in Pisces. It's going to be it is super common with a Venus conjunct Chiron transit. It's just a matter of diving in. And I feel like you guys really have the right attitude about it. Waxing gibbous moon, boundaries. Okay. Healthy boundaries. See, maybe in the past, there weren't enough boundaries. There was a violation of those, whether energetically, emotionally, physically, hopefully not, but possibly financially, right? And so you've learned so much. And a part of the Strength card is really to living in the wisdom of the things that you've learned, to not repeat the pattern, to have that self-control, to have that self-respect, to have those standards in place. And this is kind of that aspect of setting the boundary before you even go out into the world so that you are a lot more safe. And I feel safety here. Like you are energetically prepared. So no matter what is to come, once these cups turn back over and start getting refilled with things, those cups are now safe because now you know how to protect them. Now you know how to manage violations. All right, so that's a really good energy to get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitives, connect with nature. All right, this was kind of an interesting theme in the first pile as well, to be grounded. Go outside barefoot, get your feet in the dirt, you guys. Like seriously, carry around with you a grounding stone. I love Jaspers for that. I love black tourmaline for that. I love black obsidian for that. I love smoky quartz for that. Okay, so those are just some of my own personal suggestions, but you may have your own, and that's fine. Carnelian stones are also really good too. But those of you who are right, boundaries and empaths, that usually is kind of like a thing where empathic individuals have to learn how to not have that. And with, oh my gosh, you guys, the Mercury in retrograde in Pisces, it's going to, it's going to really show you how far you've come in terms of setting boundaries. Now, the next card we got was the Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. Pisces opens us up. Sun is making its way into Pisces as well. February 18th, it will be entering into Pisces. So, there's going to be that subconscious, dreamy, lack of boundaries kind of theme coming out for us over the course of the next month. So there is an air of protection here, and it's for the sake of the goodness of the Five of Cups, or the Three of Cups that you're going to be turning back over, hoping to refill with something amazing. And it's going to be amazing because that's what the Eight of Wands always brings. It brings to us the things that we wish to have, the things that we've been trying to manifest, and we feel the energy to really go out and to do the proper actions in order to allow those things to come to us as well. There are helpers in the subtle realms. There are angels, guardians, entities who are totally in your corner and they totally have your back. The universe loves courage, which is why I like the kind of Fool innocence with the Strength, because it's intelligent innocence. It's intelligent risk. So I think you know you're headed in the right direction. I think you know what steps you need to take. It's just a matter of like not really caring so much and just jumping off that cliff, right? Just do it. And knowing that if you don't get the proper, like exactly what you want, that it's ultimately going to take you to something that's more meant for you, which ultimately is better. Come, oh my gosh, come to the edge. Exactly, that's just what I was saying, right? Come to the edge. You have to get close. You have to be able to see the risk. You have to feel the thrill. You have to have that stomach flip, you know? And it's interesting to have like a come to the edge, which is very much about busting things open and boundaries. This is the perfect balance of both, which I really like for you. Let's see what else comes out here. New beginnings. Yeah, Fool energy twice. New beginnings. Because that's just kind of what happens, right? When you take that leap, when you come to the edge, when you tell the universe you're willing to take the risk, you then enjoy the blessings, which is a fresh start. And I think you feel that. I think you feel it in your gut. I think you know that this is the inevitability. I think you know this is where this is all headed. And I think you feel good about it. You know, I really do. Okay. In the ritual deck, for those of you who, you know, I know we're making our way into the full moon in Leo here. And if you want to do a full moon ritual, maybe I recommend a white candle, all right, which is usually something you have anyway, but just putting it out there. This is for newness, purification, and illumination. And newness, for me especially, because of the Eight of Wands coming straight into the Five of Cups, really wanting to refill the things that have spilt that are unchangeable. So this is about freshness, newness, purity, clean slates, all those kinds of things. So allow the white to attract the, let's just say this, let's use the white to create the space, rather, to create the space for the new things, okay? Beautiful. All right, pile number 2, that's you guys. Have an excellent week. Okay, pile 3, you guys picked the Celestite, which is a beautiful light blue color. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick up the color, but it's really light. To me, it always kind of makes me think of like water, right? Not like the ocean, but like more like a mountain stream, you know, something like that. It's very clean, very cool color, connected with the throat chakra there. All right, let's go ahead and begin. Yeah, you know, this Venus conjunct Chiron really is putting the last nail in the coffin. I think it really is just, oh my gosh, this is similar to the first one, just so much grounding energy. That's amazing. It's like whatever it is, you guys, it's over. 10 of Swords, final nail in the coffin. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. Don't overthink. Don't overanalyze. It's really not necessary. It's really not needed. Otherwise, you're just kind of doing yourself a disservice. It's going to be beneficial for you to just continue with life as normal, to just feel the ease of the mundane. Now, I really think that there's a lot of enjoyment to be had in the mundane. Just because something is regular doesn't mean it has to be boring. Just because you're doing their laundry doesn't mean it has to be like this drudgery kind of thing. And I feel like there is pleasure to be had in doing those kinds of things. It's very coin-like, right? A lot of enjoyment in how easy it is to answer your emails, how easy it is to do the dishes, how easy it is to do certain things with your schedule, right? It's just a matter of just doing it. And I sense a motivation. And in a way, I feel like this sort of clinging with the Four of Coins is very much about being passionate about keeping your life simple, because this probably was something that was a mess. It might have been dramatic. It might have been, you know, just clearly it was too much. It put you into a Ten of Swords state. So it's too much. And it had too much control over you. This is a story of kind of getting back on top, gaining your own power, and just taking it one step at a time and being very lenient with yourself and also with other people as well. For those of you who are trying to make decisions this week about moving, about money, there may be some news coming in which could be beneficial. I like a Page of Coins when it comes to job offers, when it comes to, you know, if you want to sign a lease on a new apartment or something like that. I think there's a favorable tone for you there. There may be some feelings of consideration. Is it in my budget? Does it make sense? You know, those kinds of things. But ultimately, I think everything is pretty solid. There's not a lot of upheaval. There's not a lot of emotional stuff. I think it's just a period of rest for you guys. So what comes through? Okay, gratitude, which is always a good message to receive. It's just a very gentle reminder to exhibit and to express your gratitude. Sometimes the Page of Coins, you know, can be us making an offering to other people as well. So if there was someone that did something kind for you or that was there for you, it would probably be a really good idea for you to send a little note, send some flowers, send a little gift, or just say the words, thank you. You know, I really appreciate it. That was super awesome of you, because that will unburden you a lot. And I feel that that might be something that you need, is to just be at rest for a little while and to feel that state of peace. Okay, the initiation, which is rite of passage or crossing the threshold. Longing for home, belonging, the original light worker. A lot of magic coming out in these readings this week as well, in terms of the other realms, which makes sense with the Mercury retrograde in Pisces and then Sun entering into Pisces here in the next couple weeks too on the 18th. So we're kind of building into, well, I mean, it's Aquarius season as well. Let's throw that in. Let's not forget that. So we have this kind of energy of being hyper aware that we are a microcosm within a macrocosm, that as above so below concept really hitting hard for us the next couple of weeks. And you know, you have this Ten of Swords was a rite of passage. It was something that you know, it takes you to the next level, crossing the threshold. Even the lightning here, I don't know if you guys can really see the imagery on this card, but there's like a very dark kind of atmosphere, but then you walk through the arch and then there's this paradise. So wherever it was stormy, you are most definitely approaching the threshold into paradise. And that's why I think this coin energy, just one day after the next, just keep going, no drama, nothing crazy, just keep doing it, because you are making your way one step at a time into this sort of new realm, which is usually mentally, right? Your mental space is going to be much more clear. You've paid your dues and now you've earned the right to move forward. And when longing for home is always kind of an interesting, I think a lot of people spiritually, because of the cultural environment, the political environment, you know, all sorts of environments that we have, spiritually we do feel a little homesick. I think there are a lot of people that feel like, you know, this world is weird, you know, like this is kind of crazy that people don't get along and that people take advantage and people are so selfish and people take and people fight. Like, what is this? Like, what the heck is this weird experience that we're having here? And I think light workers, especially people who identify as being star seeds, people who identify as, you know, as other kinds of beings, being here to help bring the world into the new, like the new earth, that whole kind of thing. If you're someone who really thinks of yourself like that, it can be maybe a bit of a daunting time. And Pisces always can take us into that daydreamy, wishing I was somewhere else kind of space. So I think the balance of the coins is really important. Keeping yourself in the earth. Like, you're here, man, right? You're here, you're doing the earthly experience thing, you're doing the earth school, you're learning, you're pushing, you're growing, you're helping. And don't forget, right? Just don't forget that that's kind of why you're here. Soulmates. I don't necessarily see that as being romantic, although it might be romantic for some of you. And then we have the heart chakra here. I think this is the component that we are all soulmates because we are all here together, right? There's an aspect of humanity with this belonging message, right? Longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. Belonging. You as a part of humanity, Aquarius season, you as a part of having a purpose. There may be certain people in your life that you're really needing to lean on right now, which will be, again, so beneficial. That's why the gratitude, you know, that's why the expression of like, hey, thanks, I really appreciate you being here. It's going to be an important thing for you to do. You can cross that off your list, you know, and just feel the love. And when I say love, I don't necessarily mean the romantic love, right? This is like love, like universal Christ consciousness, Neptune, Piscean kind of love toward humanity. And that really opens you up to understanding of other people's struggles. And when you start to understand them, you start to accept them. And when you start to accept them, that is when you can really work in unity. So this is really a path of unification, both within yourself and within your little soul group, okay? And then the heart chakra, again, is that open-heartedness, love, again, not romantic, but love. And there's just this understanding of the universality, what's the word? I can't think of the word. But like all of the universe involved here. It's big picture. But somehow the big picture is being amplified because of the smallness of a situation, right? Macrocosm or microcosm within the macrocosm. The final card we get, for those of you who do rituals, we got the frankincense card. Meditation, perception, concentration, again, is very connected with the third eye and the crown chakra, so the top two chakras. So again, it's all very high level, it's all very big. It all has a lot to do with understanding, with really seeing things, with understanding how this all fits together. And you know, I love frankincense. This is actually the only thing that I burn, much more than sage or anything else. Frankincense is my favorite. It just kind of has an old world kind of vibe, and it is also very grounding as well. So you might want to consider that for your full moon ritual here in the next couple of days. All right. So kind of an interesting reading. Was not expecting that for the Celestite here. I was expecting something a little bit more simple, but you know, it can be simple with the coin energy. It's all found in purpose of the day-to-day. All right, gonna leave you guys there. Thank you so much. Have an excellent week. Take care. Okay, pile number 4. You guys selected the Mookaite Jasper, which is again, it's an incredibly grounding stone connected with the root chakra. Given the first 3 piles, I think grounding is like priority number 1 for most of us. Wow, hold on, you guys got tons of major arcana. So interesting. Sun is still in Aquarius, but a lot of focus on Pisces right now. Look, this energy here is the most important because this is how you handle a lot of the big things that are going on. You're in a landscape that is a little fuzzy, all right? So your future, this is such Venus Chiron stuff too. Your future being a little out of reach, really unsure. Maybe you've got a job offer on the table and you're not sure if you're gonna get it. Maybe you're kind of feeling love feelings towards someone, but you have no idea where this could maybe go. Maybe you're trying to redefine yourself as a whole. What do you do with your life? What do you do with your path? What choices do you need to make? Maybe even the choices themselves, you don't even know what choices are in front of you, and that's all okay. See, this Four of Cups here is a card of discernment, where you could have things coming in front of you, but maybe nothing is really grabbing you. And instead of pressuring yourself like, oh my God, I gotta pick, I gotta choose, I gotta go, I think there is an aspect of emotional maturity coming out here, especially in light of the Justice and the Hierophant, which are really big, powerful energies. I think your soul is kind of helping with this restraint. Like your higher intelligence here is specifically asking you to not make choices right now, to not grab on to a lot of the offers that are right in front of you that are so easy to get. This is not about ease, this is about rightness. And anything that's on the table for you right now, I just feel a sense of like a lack of enthusiasm in general. Justice is saying that you've already worked some magic at some point in the past. You've already, set your energy, you've already set the tone, you're already adjusted to that frequency. And now it's a matter of really waiting for that stuff to come to you. And you are in the holding tank right now. And that is okay. That's a wonderful place to be. It's people who find themselves in the holding tank that get so antsy and so anxious that they try to claw their way out. Those are the people that find themselves in really desperate situations, all right? And I don't want to see, and I don't think you guys are, because your Hierophant is coming and really pacing everything. It might be making things feel like it's really slow. That's okay. The slow pace right now in Pisces season is very welcome. I'm sorry, in Aquarius season with all the Pisces emphasis. Sorry, let's clarify. Even though Mars in Sagittarius right now is probably really wanting to explore and to expand, I think the wisdom of the Sagittarian archetype is actually acting more loudly for you. It's not about the action so much as it is about the Jupiterian philosophical understanding. Okay, so you're in the power seat. You're in the director's chair, right? The universe is going to behave the way you ask it to behave. And right now, you might not know what to ask specifically, and that is okay. So just don't ask anything. You're going to notice things kind of filtering through over the next few months. So the next card is Waxing Crescent, which is the path, which is kind of interesting because in this moon card, we do have a path. It's very clear, but sometimes it's hard to see the horizon, right? We can see just a few steps in front of us, but we can't really see around the corners. We can't see around the bends. The light is a little dim, so it's not like we can fully see the whole thing, and that's perfectly wonderful and beautiful and one of the exciting things about life. So there's no need to stress. The path will present itself, and again, it will take you to a paradise. It will take you to, or through at least, some kind of a portal into a new kind of realm of existence. All right, don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? And then boundaries, where do you need to establish better boundaries? The moon energy can often make boundaries very hazy, but I think the Four of Cups with the Hierophant is doing a better job actually. So the tendency to relax your boundaries or to let them be violated or whatever might be there, but I don't think it's strong enough. I don't think the kind of self-sacrificial kind of thing is prominent enough to be a problem. However, you may need to be in a mindset of like, okay, people can't cross my boundaries. I do have certain standards. They must be met. If you want to be my friend, you want to be my lover, right? Whatever, you have to be able to do certain things. And there is no dimming. There should never be any dimming. You don't have to apologize for the things that are important to you. You don't have to apologize for wanting something specific, especially when that has to do with how people treat you. I see a disregard for the negative stuff in your life. right? If someone wants to spout off something negative or wants to try to make you feel guilty or whatever, I see you having a strong capacity to brush it off, like water off a duck's back, like it does not faze you. Because what you see now is when there is any negativity in another person, is you see their own unhappiness, right? Like the mirror is very clear and the projection is very obvious. Maybe the boundaries here is people can't hide from you. Maybe that's what this really is. People can't hide their insecurities from you. And that's why you're hesitant to really accept things, because maybe what the things that are on the table are products of other people's stuff, right? The products of other people's insecurities, the products of other people's weakness, and they want you, and that's why your arms are crossed, right? That's why you're like, no, I'm good. I'm going to wait for the real deal. I'm going to wait for someone who doesn't need me to fill in their gaps, you know? So this is you. Don't dim to fit in. Beautiful. Time to go. There is an aspect of emotional and spiritual movement, although physically in your external world, everything will really be like the same. It's time to go. It's time to move. It's time to follow your heart, right? There's even a path here. So we have the path in the moon card, we have this kind of trail or this sort of boardwalk here. Like you are en route wherever it is you're going. This is happening. So if you're wanting to be someone or to have some kind of a career, like no matter how stagnant the external world looks, you are making it happen. It's so critical that you give yourself credit for all the progress that you've made. And how far you really have come, all right? And fertility, oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? That's kind of like the Empress card, which is the fruits of your labor will be had. Justice. The justice is the governor of the rules of the universe. And so when we have the magician energy, which is our intention, it's our kind of energetic frequency, it's our emotional state. When those kinds of energies are being projected out, the justice card ensures that it comes back to us. And when it comes back to us, and we can actually hold in our hands, in a material way, that which we were manifesting, that just shows you how fertile, right, metaphorically, you actually are. It shows how powerful you actually are. It shows you how much of a creator you actually are. This is all about creation, all right? And you are a gold mine inside, which is why you're not going to really settle for anyone else's dimness, because why would a big pile of gold hang out with a big pile of rocks, right? So you got to find other gold, other people who are made of gold, who are making things happen, who are in their creative process, in their creative flow. And then a waning gibbous moon, reflection, meditation, and receiving. Again, it's a very quiet with that Four of Cups. There's not a lot of emphasis on going out there, taking a risk, putting, grabbing. There's nothing like that. So the more reflective you can be, the more honest you can be, the more bright you can be, the more patient you can be, the better, because you are in receiving mode and what you want to receive, because when we tap into reception, we can attract a lot of stuff. There can be a lot of stuff coming at us. So if we can at least filter out all the things that we're receiving, then we're actually going to receive the thing that we want, and our life will continue to be simple and peaceful, and we will continue to be content and fulfilled. All right? So that is your energy for the week. Thank you guys so much. I wish you absolutely nothing but the best. Take care. Bye-bye.